Okay, right, in this video what it is tonight in Scotland there is meant to be some volcanic ash cloud that's been going over the country, and it stopped all flights in or out. And I thought volcanic ash cloud probably going to mean you're going to get a pretty cool sunset. And just now we've got this amazingly orange sunset right over there. Kim, if you could point over there and do a little zoom in. 2 hands please, 2 hands. Okay, and you see it's totally blowing out the camera, I can barely see it. So, back to me, Kim. Zoom wide again.
You're such an idiot.
Zoom wide again. Are you wide again? Wide on. So what I thought I'd do is come on, take some nice landscape shots of the stuff, but I also thought I might do a cool little portrait one of the camera girl just now, who's Kim. I'm going to show you how to do it all in camera, just with TTL everything. And the main thing is I'm going to take the camera off flash and get Kim looking good. So the first thing is, when we're looking pretty much straight into the sun, you're usually going to get something like sunspots or flare, where you get the little bits of sun coming through the glass. The more direct you have that onto the sun, the less obvious the flare is. It's usually if you're really at an angle. Kim, can you point it at an angle and you can see sun flare? There it is. Say it, Kim, say it.
Dom's a loser. What was that? Dom's a loser.
Thank you, Kim. And so in the camera, if we were to take a photo just now, like that, what happens is the sky is totally blown out and it's kind of exposed. Although we've got a matrix metering, it's exposed mainly for the foreground, and so we can see pretty much all the grass, but the sky looks totally blown out. So to change that, come closer, Kim, come closer. All we do, I'll tilt it down. All we do is we hold down this one and give it a negative number thing. So let's bring it down to -2 and let's take a photo again. Exactly the same photo. You can really see the whole sky now. Now if we're using it with flash and we're using it on a portrait like we're about to do on Kim, you have to control the flash exposure evaluation separately from the camera. So in commander mode, I'm going to be using the flash in this in commander mode, and I'm going to have this flash again just on TTL because I'm going to be moving it around, moving it to lots of places. I'm just going to have it on TTL +2. So the camera will say, look, we want to expose 2, or -2 stops, but we have to tell the flash to be 2+. So it effectively should be back to the normal exposure it would have given if we hadn't changed anything. Roughly about that. It's never an exact science. Not that far, come closer, it's a wide angle. Goodness. Okay, and if you can stand over there, Kim. Yeah, there, that's quite good. Okay, so that's the camera focused on Kim. And at the moment it's going for like a 20,000th of a second, which is really, really fast. And this probably won't be able to give out enough power for that. So we'll just change the aperture. So instead of it being 4.8, we'll put it up to 13. So that means it's at 250th of a second, and that will give us the normal sync speed. So we'll just put it on timer, and we'll get it to take a picture of Kim just now. Okay, so you can hear it's totally gone off on full power, and the beeping there is just saying I've sent out as much energy out of this as possible as I possibly can, and it's not actually enough from what you're actually wanting to do. But as you can see from the image, it looks pretty good. Kim, that was a really bad photo. Kim, let's do another one where you don't look quite so bad. Because it's at f13, it'll have to pump out a lot of power from the flash. And it's a case of the closer I have the flash, the less power this will need to pump out, because it's effectively exposing for what is reflected off Kim. Okay, Kim, that looks pretty cool. Let's do another one. This time I'll have the flash on the other side of Kim. See what that looks like. Looking beautiful, Kim?
As always.
Okay, obviously that's your hand. So we'll do it back over this side. I think this is probably the best side. Perfect. Okay, so now but that's a nice way of doing a portrait into the sunshine with your model. To make sure you get a nice saturated sky, you want to underexpose the image, so that means you really get all the stuff in the sky, and The other thing you can do is add on graduated filters as well. Kim, you've got 2 hands! You've got 2 hands, hold it with 2 hands!
Oh, you told me not to shake the camera.
Yeah, so use 2 hands! Right, Kim's complaining she's got sore arm from holding that tiny little camera. And that's because she's been holding it with 1 hand, like
I
a
went
cigarette.
to the gym yesterday.
And she went to the gym, whatever. So now this time I'm going to put a neutral density filter on it so we can take out a bit more of the sky, and that should help us have a lower f-stop. So that's next. Okay, so now what I've done is stuck on my neutral density graduated filter, so it means the top part it should be darker than the bottom, and already the shutter speed is totally slowed down. It was at f13 and 250th of a second. Can you move a wee bit to the right again? And now it's down to 90th of a second. So that is great news, because that means we can bring the aperture, make it a lot wider. So now, to keep it still within the 250th of a second, we're down to f8. So that's a full stop, half a stop, 3 bits of a stop. And this is what the image looks like without anything being done to it. And as you can see, Kim is totally blacked out and it's looking good, but let's brighten it up a little bit. Let's bring it to just -1 stop exposure evaluation. And then we can bring it down to an f6.7. Well, actually, an f5.6. Okay, so there we're getting a little bit of Kim in, and we're still keeping a bit of the detail of the sky. So again, just bringing the flash in, got it on remote. I'll just put it on TTL +1 because we've only got the camera on -1 just now. Click OK. And this time when it goes off, there shouldn't be that warning sound. So Kim, get ready to pose. This is what it should look like. Damn, still too bright. Fighting against the sun is obviously really difficult, even when the sun is coming down like this. Like Kim, point the camera towards that sunshine just now. The other thing is I've got a half CTO gel on this, so that means that roughly the light that's coming out of this should be almost the same as the light that's coming from the sun. And if we wanted to warm the image up, which is kind of what we want to do because it is a sunset, we just change the colour temperature so it's at a higher temperature. So at the moment on the camera, the temperature is at 3700, which is the correct colour white balance temperature if you want that orangeness to be white, but we don't. So let's put it up to around about 5000, like normal sunlight, maybe 5500. And this image should be a lot more orange, but warm. And certainly from the differences of those images, the one where I've changed the colour temperature on that so that it meets the same, so it's not the correct white colour, white balance, gives a much more pleasing look, a more sunset look, which is what you want. You can really exaggerate it by putting the colour temperature up to, let's say, 8000 for this one. And there, that's looking like a nice picture. Okay, so that's a couple of the portraits which I'm doing up the hill just now. You don't need to do it on a tripod because it's still really fast shutter speed, it doesn't really matter. So now I'm just going to take some nice pictures of Kim when she's not holding the camera.